Hey guys, it's Nathan from the Kentucky Cycling YouTube channel. I'm here in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, or E-Town as it's called, with David Haynes, who is the head trail gnome.
Buffalo Lake itself is part of the green space trail system in Elizabethtown. The green space has existed since about 1974, and it was founded by people that wanted to protect our waterways and encourage people to get out in nature and recreate. Altogether, part of probably a 30-35 mile trail system. Buffalo Lake dates back to about 1974 when green space was founded, and Boy Scouts cut a trail out from downtown where we're at now behind the courthouse, Haycraft Mill, Cave Spring Trail, out to Buffalo Lake, which was one of the holding lakes for the flood control system that was established in the late 60s, early 70s. Until about 3 years ago, it was only about a 2.5 mile trail. Myself and a number of other trail workers, about 2 or 3 years ago, Elizabethtown is going through a lot of development. And because of all the hotels on the interstate, they had to move dirt out of the flood control system, and they tore down a bunch of trees. And nobody knew there were mountain bike trails out there.
Wow.
It fired up a lot of mountain bikers to get out there and get to work. Over the last few years, we've probably had about 24 people that have put in a great deal of work, and we've gone from a 2.5 mile trail system to almost a 9 mile trail system. So today, what we're going to do is part of the green space system. We're starting in Wintersmith Trail, which is down behind the Hardin County Justice Center. And this is really one of the better trailheads because you're right in town. So the circle of town is right there. Buffalo Lake, I think we're bringing the trail to the mountain bikers. You know, so we make it easy to get off the interstate, get to Buffalo and ride. And then if you want to come downtown and eat or drink beer or get a coffee afterwards, you can do that. So I think it's Buffalo Lake itself would be a great trail system anywhere. But what makes it even better is you can ride to a restaurant, a hotel, get off the interstate. If you're just passing by and take a quick loop, stretch your legs, whatever you may want to do. So I think it's a great feature. And we'll ride out about a mile, and then we'll actually be on the mountain bike trail system. It's a multi-use trail. We'll see hikers and runners and all kinds of other people, dog walkers out there. But it was built by mountain bikers with mountain bikers in mind. Right now we're still on the access trail out of town, Haycraft Mill, before we get to Buffalo Lake. And where this is, it's high ground just outside of downtown Elizabethtown. Back in the Civil War, they had, I think it was about a regiment that encamped outside of town here. And it was just all in this general area. And what you'll see is we kind of go back, and then some of the mountain bike trails go behind us over this way, is you'll be out here on the weekends, and there's people out here treasure hunting. And there's a couple guys that are real dedicated, and they still routinely find Civil War artifacts out here, bullets of all different kinds of calibers and everything. So just kind of a neat historical area. And also with Elizabethtown, part of the history is Morgan's raid reached up into Elizabethtown, and there's actually a cannonball lodged into the side of one of the older buildings from that raid. It was like a Christmas raid of 1863, I think. So the Civil War did actually come to Elizabethtown, Kentucky. This is another historical area on the Haycraft Mill Trail coming out of town before we reach the Buffalo Lake system. Historically, Elizabethtown goes back to the 1780s, as the sign says, And this was one of the areas of one of the 3 original settler forts in Elizabethtown. And what they did is they spaced these forts about a mile apart on high ground in this area, just to be mutually supporting in case they were attacked. But you know, just another neat, interesting feature of our trails as you roll by. We're at the intersection of Haycraft Mill Trail, Cave Spring Trail, Pine and Holly Loop Trail, and Buffalo Lake Trail. And this is all the intersection right as you come out of town to get into the Buffalo Lake system. And what you'll see on the sign here, we're working on better markings, but the red and the yellow arrows mark the exterior loop. So when you get to this point, you start seeing red or yellow arrows. One's clockwise, one's counterclockwise, and that puts you on about an 8 or 9 mile loop in the Buffalo Trail system, which includes the original Buffalo Lake Trail system and the Pine Holly Loop, which was new cut in this winter and added about 3.5 miles. This is Gotta Potty Waddy, which is a little bit self-indulgent to me. I was stationed at the National Training Center with the U.S. Army for about 3 years, and there's a terrain feature out there called Porta Potty Waddy, so I just figured we needed a Gotta Potty Waddy here in Buffalo Lake. We're still on the Pine and Holly Loop. There was a young woman, not a mountain biker, who was instrumental, ran a bunch of cleanup days for us out here, and we probably pulled about 8 to 10 pickup truckloads full of scrap metal, trash, tires, and everything else out of here. And, you know, that's just one of the remnants. We thought it was kind of humorous, so we left it here and got a potty waddy. we're at the Buffalo Lake Dam right now, and what you can see is it's dry. And the reason for that is this is actually part of the flood control system in Elizabethtown. I think the lake itself was built around 50 years ago, and it was overdue for a dredging. And the city has drained it out. They're waiting for it to dry, and sometime this fall, they'll start moving this dirt out of here. And the great part about this is mountain bikers, green space, and the city are keeping each other informed about what's going on out here to make sure, you know, there's going to be disruption in the trails. And you know, the city's conscious of how important this trail system is, not only to the mountain bikers, but to the walkers and the hikers and the fishermen and everything else. So when this is all said and done, this lake will be probably 30 to 40 feet deep again. The city is also talking about making improvements to the area to better support activity out here at the lake. We're on the original part of the Buffalo Lake Trail system. It's probably over 5 years old. We just went through the pipeline area. And this area here, I call it the Big Dig. It was what I talked about at the beginning. This is where there used to be all trees here, and the trail actually ran through this open area with the trees, but they moved all the trees and moved dirt to correct the water table for all the development that's going on out by the interstate. So it was bad for the trails on the short term. In the long term, it spurred a lot of awareness on the part of the city and a lot of interest in mountain bikers to grow the trails. You know, when this happened, there was only about 3.5 to 4 miles of trail out here. As this became an issue, mountain bikers got fired up. The city leaders became more aware of the work that was going on out here. Likewise, a private property owner opened up 100 acres for us, which allowed this trail system to go from about 4 miles to almost 9 miles now. This is the first trailhead on Commerce Drive. If you were to get off 65 or the Western Kentucky Parkway, Bluegrass Parkway, you'd come right off, and that's where all the restaurants are. But this is the interstate side of Buffalo, so if you're just swinging through, this is the best place to park. But if you want to get downtown for more post-ride activities, you go with the Justice Center where we originally started from. We're on Cave Spring Trail, which is just off of the Buffalo system. Historically interesting, not really a mountain bike point, but the Cave Spring here is where the settlers from that original settler fort came down and got their drinking water from.
Thanks again to David Haynes for the tour of the Buffalo Lake Trail System. If you found this content useful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. For more Trail Gnome tours of Kentucky trail systems, be sure to check out the Trail Gnome Tours playlist.